When it comes to relationships, all's fair in love and war. But when it comes to picking up the check, now that battle of the sexes has been raging for ages.
Men should always pay on the first date. And get this, for our own good.
The New York Post featured an article titled, "Divorce Attorney Explains Why Men Should Always Pay for the First Date." And in this article, divorce lawyer Justin Lee explains why it's super important for men to always pay on the first date, but the reasoning may surprise you.
The issue is when we end up paying for someone who has this real sense of entitlement, like this expectation that we will pay. That's precisely why we need to always pay.
And here's why. If a guy goes for his wallet and he goes to pay for the first date and the woman just kind of sits there and like looks away and she's very nonchalant and she doesn't even offer to pay, then you know that this woman is super entitled and that she just expects, Justin says, and I quote, "a near stranger to pay for her on her first date."
You learned that the person in front of you does not have the basic courtesy to pretend to offer to pay.
So he doesn't care if the woman doesn't really have any intention to pay for the first date. He just wants this girl to pretend, which is basically playing games 101.
Men don't owe women a meal or a drink at a first date, just as the woman doesn't owe the man the date in the first place, or to sleep with him afterwards.
50% of the commenters agree with Justin and 50% of the commenters don't agree with Justin. So the battle of the sexes rages on. And on one side, women have fought for years for equality. Men always made more than women. And although that is still true today, women are closing the gap. And as women continue to fight for equality, shouldn't that mean equality when it comes to sitting down and paying for a meal on the first date? On the other side of the argument, you have women who are basically like, no, I'm sorry. 99% of the time, a man asks for the date. And if you want to take me out, how dare you invite me to a restaurant, sit me down, ask to spend time with me, and then when the bill comes, act like you don't know where your wallet is. They should be putting their money where their mouth is, and after asking for a date, they should know 100% that they're going to have to pay for that bill. In my opinion, I do think that it's fair that the person who asks for the date pay for the date. And 99.9% of the time, I'm not asking a guy on a date. Now, if I do ask a guy on the date, I'm 100% willing to pay. Also, throughout my dating career, if a guy asks me where I want to go for the date, I like to pick a place that's really affordable. Some place where I feel very comfortable paying if the guy does offer, because I am kind of like Justin. I do look at the guy and see if he wants to pay. Although I expect him to pay, I'm prepared to pay, and you know, I'm never gonna go to a restaurant without a wallet. If you are one of these ladies who believes that it's important for you to be paid for on the first date, I'm not here to tell anybody to lower their standards, but be warned that men are using whether or not you reach for the bill as a litmus test as to whether or not you're gonna be a potential future wifey. So if you wanna spend more time with me, it's completely free. Just like and click that subscribe button so you always know what's going down in the streets, in between the sheets, and under the covers.